fly the whale. I've given you guys a rundown before on our other jump plane. We call it Jade. This is the whale. This used to be Jimmy Buffett's airplane, and they call it the whale, or Jimmy called it the whale because he used it for whale watching off the coast of the East Coast somewhere. We kept the same livery. The only difference on the plane today than when Jimmy had it is that he had pontoons for landing gear. And of course, it wasn't a jump ship. This was a fancy airplane for watching whale watching from, right? The setup in this plane is a little bit different. You'll have seen me jump out of this plane before, but I've never given you a rundown on it. So here we are. On the other plane, the benches that we sit on are up against the bulkhead of the aircraft, and we have 2-point seatbelts like in any commercial aircraft. In this plane, we have single point restraint. So we have an attachment point on the floor on rail that is part of the body, and then the buckle and the latching system are all in one strap. I want to say these are rated for 10,000 pounds of shock. I could be wrong. Let me see if one of the other ones has a label that's readable. There we go. I was wrong. 1,500 pounds. On this airplane, we can seat 4 people on the left side bench, 5 people on the right side bench. Sometimes we have the co-pilot seat turned around, like right now, so we can fit one more person there. And then we have a center padded bench that has its own seat belt. In addition to that, we can sit someone right here on the floor, and they get this seat belt. We can have someone seated at this part of the floor, and then they get this seat belt. And then we have a person that can sit here, and then they get this seat belt. And the person that sits here gets that seat belt. We have the black area blocked off. That is for 2 reasons: weight and balance, right? We need to keep the weight forward under the wing and keep the aircraft balanced while we're in climb, so that we don't put too much weight towards the tail and make the aircraft teeter too much, right? That would give the pilot some challenges. We have like a garage style door on here. These are clear Lexan. These junction points, I believe, have rubber in between them. There's a bar on the inside for you to hold on to when you're trying to set up an exit that requires such a thing. And we have rope along the sides to help us scoot to the front when we're doing tandems. That way we can move our tandem student and ourselves closer to the door. We have 2 jump lights. Some jump aircraft have 3. We have 2. Red on the bottom, green in the top. We indicate the 3rd option by flashing the red. So we flash the red at the 2-minute warning. That means we have 2 minutes until we get clearance to open the door. Solid red means you can open the door and start looking outside and verifying that we're over the correct spot. And then green means you may exit. Doesn't mean you have to exit. It means you may exit. If you see something that's wrong, obviously you don't exit. We have a chart for horizontal separation. Okay, based on the ground speed, how much time do we take at the door? Okay. So if you hear in one of my videos that, you hear the call out 70 over the ground, 70 over the ground. So 70 knots, 9 seconds between groups gives us enough horizontal separation for us to be safe. Yes, we do have to take that into consideration. In addition to the inside bar, we also have an outside bar that stretches beyond the edge of the door on both ends. And the step on the outside extends beyond, so that we can set up this is typically regarded, this spot back here is typically regarded as the camera step, and a camera flyer will stand on the edge of that and hang towards the back of this bar as the formation is leaving, for the purposes of recording a formation skydive. We make our way forward to the co-pilot seat. Co-pilot seat and pilot seat have a 5-point restraint system. This is what the buckle looks like. It's a little bit different. One of the items doesn't come out. Everything else stays, releases. We have shoulder, waist, and growing, or lap and growing. And that way, whomever is riding in here is fully secured in and doesn't have to worry about not having a parachute. Even then, if you go for an observer ride with us, you are required to wear a parachute, and we'll give you a basic instruction on how to use it in the event that you need to. Thankfully, knock on wood, we haven't ever had a need for that. The avionics panel is turned off right now. We're on a weather hold. That's the reason I'm able to make this video. If the avionics panel were turned on, you would see our Garmin is running, and that's our GPS and our radioing system. All our radios are stacked up there. As you can see, believe it or not, the pilot has a rear view mirror, and the pilot uses that mirror to look back towards the door because the pilot is going to adjust the trim of the aircraft based on the load that's about to leave. So figure if it's 4 people, he's estimating roughly 800 pounds are going out the door. If he knows someone bigger, he'll make the adjustment based on that, but they start to shift the trim of the aircraft for the load that's about to leave. Okay, as soon as they leave, the airplane is back to being trim. The pilot also, our pilots also use their phones with a program as a secondary means of having maps and GPS. And they use that RAM mount right there to hold their phones. And while they're doing that, there is a charging cable that the pilot can use to keep the phone charged while they are flying the plane and using the phone as a backup means of navigation. We like to keep spare goggles on the airplane. Every once in a while, you forget your goggles as an instructor. Spare goggles, PA system. The pilot lets us know 2-minute call, and right on speed on against the right before we get on jump run, right after we get on jump run. That way we can use that information to use that chart over there to sort out how long we have to wait. Another couple spares here. The Whale is technically a Cessna 208. You can see its nameplate right there. It's a manufacturing plate right there, and it gives you all the information about the plane that you can look up on the FAA website if you just look up the registration. Fun fact about this plane, because Jimmy used it for whale watching, part of it is they would have to fly in sometimes not so great weather. So this is a radar system. It's a radar pod in front of this thing. The pilot can use it if they need to, but guess what? If they need to use the radar, we are not skydiving. It's not skydiving weather. Maybe they'll use it when they ferry the aircraft. One of our ground folks is pulling it right now. You see that the fuel port is on the top of the wing. Our Jade has a 1 point that is around here. It's an expensive system, so the owner of the drop zone opted not to put it on this plane quite yet. Otherwise, this is exactly what you would expect out of a commercial aircraft. Let's see. Our O2 bottle. The pilot might need to use that if he's expending a lot of time above 10,000 feet. And then we also use that with a distribution system for when we do tandems above 15,000 feet. Normally we can go here to 18,000 with arrangements made ahead of time. That's the Whale. She's a little bit shorter than Jade and has a little bit less power than Jade, but overall, great jump ship to take us to the altitude that we want to do parachute mobile. Catch you in the next one. 7-3.